Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and their professional teams struggle to find great capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy. Using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way to exit highly appreciated assets tax deferred so you can create, preserve, and grow your wealth. I'm your co-host, Pearson York, filling in for Brett Schwartz. In each episode, I'm joined by some of the best wealth, business, leadership, and real estate individuals in the world to share ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. As always, we're streaming on the Expert CRE Secrets podcast, as well as the Capital Gains Tax Solutions YouTube channel. So please rate, review, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, share it. All that stuff that we do on the interwebs nowadays really helps us out, and it helps us keep delivering content like this and getting awesome guests like the one we have today. So without further ado, the guest that we have today has been a best-selling author multiple times. He actually wrote the book on being a best-selling author, and so I'm super excited to bring him in. So please help me welcome Vikrant. Shaurya, how you doing, man?
Hey, Pearson. Good. Thank you so much for having me here. Really excited for our conversation today.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, best-selling author multiple times under multiple different names, but the man behind it all, right? The brain. So before we dive into this, why don't you give us just a brief background on how you kind of got into this?
Yeah, sure. So I think 12 years ago, my dad asked me, "Hey, son, what do you want to become in your life?" And I didn't want to sound dumb. So I told him that I want to become an engineer because everybody in my circle at my age wanted to become an engineer. So my dad thought that, hey, this guy is serious. So he got my admission in an engineering college. But honestly, when I went over there, I realized that this is not for me. And after 1.5 years, usually engineering college is 4 years, but in just 1 year, I realized that this is not for me. When I was in the third semester of my college, I went to my college library, and over there, I found this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, very famous book, but by Robert Kiyosaki, where I read that book in the same sitting, and I realized that I want to do something of my own. I want to start my own business. In the very same day, I just dropped out of the college, and yeah, it took me 2 months to get a business idea, and then finally, when I got the business idea, I started working on it. I took some loan. I borrowed some money from my seniors, my friends, my colleague, my relatives, and but yeah, in 6 months, I had no idea. I completely lost everything. I had to shut down the company. I had to fire all the employees, and this is I was 20-year-old. I was completely broke. I had no money to pay my rent, my bills, my electricity. So I had to make money somehow. So I was searching online on my broken laptop that how to make money online, and I discovered self-publishing over there. This is the first time I discovered that I can write, publish, and market the book and make some money out of it. So I had no option at all. Like I had to pay my bill. So I wrote my first book in 21 days. I published it, and I remember that in the first month I made around $24 or $25 something, and it was a huge thing for me. I remember that I was jumping on the bed when I saw the royalty. It is nothing, but still for me it was the first money I made online. And then the next book I wrote in just 3 days. It was a short book, and I published it. And this time I also did some marketing, and it became bestseller. And I think the second month I made around 440 or $450, and I knew that this is the way to actually penetrate the market. And then from there, then I kept on publishing more books under my pen name. Some of them were nonfiction, some of them were fictions, and most of them became bestseller. I got to know exactly how the process worked. And some of my friends who were connected to me on Facebook. They started reaching out to me. Hey, how did you write the book? And can you help us? And then I added a coaching fees over there. I started helping people over there. In 1 year, I launched, I think, more than dozens of courses on how to publish, how to make money out of by publishing books. I published that. I launched those courses and ebooks on JVZoo, Warrior Forum, Warrior Plus platforms. Made some money out of it, but and I also started coaching programs. But this business, Authors on Mission, started when uh, most of the people I was working with, they told me that they don't have the time to sit down and write the book. And I told them that, okay. Then I assembled a team of writers, editors, designers, marketers, and I created this publishing company, Done For You Publishing Company. So this is a quick story of exactly how an 18-year-old kid, like, who had no idea exactly what he would be doing, and then he told his dad that I'm going to become an engineer. The entire paradigm shifted, and now I'm completely doing something else. I'm happy about it, my life. So yeah, this is exactly my quick background.
Awesome. Okay, so college kid, hates engineering, reads Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Starts a company, fails miserably, writes a book.
That's
Rest
it.
is history.
That's it.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm really curious about this. Like, what is the number one secret to writing a best-selling book?
There's not just one secret. Actually, there's so many things involved, or there's so many recipes. Honestly speaking, 10 years ago, it was way more easy for authors to become best-selling author. But now the competition is high. The money that you would be spending in the ad spend in marketing is actually increasing a lot. So there's so many steps involved. And I see that to make the book bestseller and to make the book really successful, not for a very short time, but for a long time, is there are four very major pillars in making the book bestseller and sustain it on bestseller for a very long time. And I see that the marketing of the book starts from the production phase, means the from the beginning itself. And the product itself is very, very important. And over here, the product is the book. You have to write a really, really, really good book. You have to understand what exactly your target readers want, what are their pain points, what are the problems they have in their life or in their business, and then you have to solve that problem in the form of a book in a very easy to read and engaging structure. And once you write the book, so this is the first pillar, product, which is extremely important. The second pillar is packaging. Exactly how do you package this book? And packaging includes book cover designing, interior designing, formatting of the book, author bio, book description, author picture. Means you have to make this book very presentable, right? We have heard this several times. Don't judge a book by its book cover, but people do judge a book by its book cover. So you have to have a really professional book cover, very great formatting. And then the third phase is publishing, right? Publishing is not very complicated now. With the help of self-publishing, it becomes easy. You can go to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or you can go to Ingram Spark. There's so many platforms through which you can publish the book. And then comes the promotion, right? And in promotion, again, there are two different types of promotion. One is on-page SEO. On Amazon, you have to play with keywords, categories. You have to Amazon is like Google. You have to find out the right keywords people are typing in the search bar, and you have to integrate that in title, subtitle, description. And when you are uploading the book, it also asks for 7 keywords. You have to use keywords. And then comes the off-page promotion. And I have seen that nowadays getting on podcast is one of the best way to promote your book. So, and usually these hosts, like, they ask you question about the book, exactly how people can find their book, and it becomes very easy for authors to sell more copies using podcast. So these are the 4 pillars I've seen that is working that should be in the place to make the book #1 bestseller.
So let me summarize this. So we have product, you got to write a
Uh,
good book that solves a
yep.
problem, that hits
Hmm.
someone's pain point. Second, you have to design it good, because if you
Yep.
don't, people 100% judge the book by its cover. As
Hmm.
poor as that is in life or whatever, it's the truth. So you got to have it professionally well done.
Hmm.
Um, you have to promote the book.
Publish. The third is publish and distribution, and the fourth is
Publish and
promote.
distribution.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the publish and distribution phase, is there like a specific thing that some publishers do better than other publishers that like set them apart to create more best-selling books, or how does that work?
So there are two ways to publish a book: either to go with traditional publishers, right, or now, which is very trending, is self-publishing. If you want to go with traditional publishers, it becomes sometimes nightmare, actually most of the time, because it can take years and years for you to get your manuscript accepted, because they get like thousands of manuscript every single month. So either you have to have a really great connection, or you have to hire a really good agent. And uh, and yeah, like if you're going with traditional publisher, one of the biggest downside with traditional publisher is they take majority of the royalty from the book. They take 60, 70, 80, sometimes 90% of the book's royalties, right? um, and when it comes to self-publishing, one of the easiest way to publish the book yourself is going to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. Simply search for kdp.amazon.com. If you already have an Amazon account, you can sign up or log into this account over there, and then just simply publish. Like you just have to upload your files, title, subtitle, description, keywords, categories, set the pricing and launch date, and then publish it. It's very simple. You can publish the book. If you have all the files, you can get the book published in just 72 hours using self-publishing.
Wow. So it's actually way better to self-publish.
It is way better because you own the entire book. You own everything: the royalty, rights, copyrights of the book. You own the creative control. For example, you publish the book and you decide you you didn't get a really good traction, and then you realize that you have to change the book cover. You can do it instantly in 24 hours with self-publishing. But with traditional publishing, in 99.99% cases, they will not allow you to change the book cover. They'll not allow you to change anything which is substantial, like which is very important to you want to change in the manuscript itself. They're very, very slow.
So we're bagging. Are there any benefits to using a big publishing company?
They have a really good distribution channel, but they will not do the marketing. This is a myth people don't know. People think that like once they're selected by a traditional publisher, they're going to they'll become a successful author. That's not the case. They strategically want to work with those authors who already have an existing followers, or uh, maybe a big email list. And they want to cash money from your email list, from your market itself. And eventually you have to promote the book, you have to market the book, and they're going to make money out of it. So the only benefit is like they can help you with the distribution thing. uh, but there are some ways, like you can go to self-publishing route, and instead of publishing on Amazon KDP, you can publish on ingramspark.com, which is one of the world's largest distribution platform for books. And usually traditional publishing, they also go through these routes like Ingram Spark. So yeah, like this problem actually solves, like with self-publishing, uh, your book is completely yours, and you control everything of the book. You have um, of course you have to do the marketing, but you are also going to be making money out of it, almost all the money.
Okay, so we're self-publishing. We've beat that one. So okay, after we self-publish, now we market. And marketing requires SEO, as does everything else, having the keywords, having the correct distribution, social media outlets, all that kind of stuff. Is there a specific strategy that works best
Yeah. So when it comes to making the book bestseller, first of all, we have to pick the platform exactly where you want to make the book bestseller. For example, there are so many different platforms. First is Amazon bestseller. The second is Wall Street Journal bestseller. Third is USA Today bestseller, and the fourth is New York Times bestseller. These are all the different um, uh, premium levels, like going from Amazon to New York Times bestseller. Amazon bestseller is not very complicated. It's just simple math. For example, if someone is writing a book about real estate, they have to find out how many sales the number one book is getting in the real estate category. If the number one book is getting, for example, 500 sales in a day, if you get 501 sales in a day, you become bestseller. That's it. So that's the simple math. And you have to set a launch date, and you have to gather all the promotions and all the marketing for that specific date so that you can get all the sales in that day and you can become bestseller. For Wall Street Journal or US Today bestseller, you have to get around 6 to 7,000 sales in a week to make the book bestseller on those platforms. And if you get those sales, then 99% times you become bestseller. I say 99% because there is a limit. Like every week, they just have 10 books they have in the bestseller list in different categories. So you can't have multiple books. Like if there are 3 4 really good books coming out, then maybe there's a slight chance that you won't be able to go to the number one bestseller. But yeah, in most cases you'll be able to do it. New York Times bestseller is very complicated, not guaranteed, but you have to get around 15 to 20,000 sales in a week. But they don't get the New York Times editors don't select the book just based on the number of sales. They see all the different things, like exactly what kind of media this book is getting or the author is getting, how many podcasts this person is getting, the traditional media, whether they're going on TV or newspapers, all kind of thing, and then they decide whether this is good fit for the New York Times bestseller as well or not. So yeah, these are different platforms, and then based on the platform, you have to change the marketing strategy to become bestseller on that platform.
So are these platforms all kind of like segregated, or is it an aggregate of all the different sales platforms that you need to hit in order to hit
Yeah,
the
they're all in. Like if you're publishing the book on Amazon, yeah, there's one more. I should have told you when you asked me that exactly what is the benefit of going for traditional publishing. There's only one reason I would recommend anyone to go with traditional publisher, because New York Times editors only select traditional publishing books. They don't select self-published books. That's the only reason. If you simply want to go to New York Times bestseller, then you have to get an
if
traditional
you
publishing deal.
okay, so if you go to the New York Times bestseller, do you wipe out your ability to get the other
No, 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 no. So we also have authors like who have been on, like in our case, like we help our clients become Amazon bestseller, Wall Street Journal bestseller, US Today bestseller. Currently, we are working towards New York Times bestseller, but I think in 1 year we won't be able to achieve it. Uh, but yeah, like, and we have seen some of our authors become bestseller on all of these three platforms. So it doesn't mean that if you become bestseller on one platform, then you won't be bestseller on another platform. That's not how it works. It's kind of one, all one.
but if you are like bestseller in Wall Street Journal, you're pretty much bestseller on Amazon and
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
one
Sure.
too. So it's
Yeah,
an upgrade kind of thing.
exactly. Yeah, right.
Okay. So you have to get Wall Street, or you have to get pretty much Amazon before you can go to the next level, and then Wall Street, and then New York Times.
You don't need it. Like you can, if you simply aim for USA Today, then you would definitely be Amazon bestseller.
Gotcha. Okay. So are you guys now a publishing company?
We are a hybrid publishing company where uh, we don't only publish the book for our authors. We offer soup to nut solution, means turnkey solution, where if you have a book idea but you don't have the time and skills to write a book, we come in the picture, we take your interview, we exactly understand your book idea, your message, your experience, expertise, vision, your story, and we write the book for you in your authentic voice. Then we do the editing, proofreading, we do the cover designing, formatting, we publish the book, we do the distribution, we market the book, we get sales, reviews, we make it number one bestseller, guaranteed. We get you on podcasts, we do the PR distribution, everything for you. It's kind of, if someone works with us, like they don't have to worry about anything at all.
Okay, so let me see. Let me do like a little like mini. I want to write a book. I want to write a book about tax solutions.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to know anything about what I want to write a book about, correct?
Of course, I don't write books for our clients. I'm not good at writing. That's why I was able to find really good ghostwriters, and most of the ghostwriters are from states. So we have more than 500 writers in our circle, right? Um, and in different industries, right? So we might find you someone who has some experience and expertise in taxes, and they would be able to brainstorm with you and share with you their own insights, and in case if you want to do it, and then they will take your interviews for every chapter, and they'll write the book chapter by chapter, and then you're going to review one chapter, you're going to provide the feedback. If you're happy, we're going to move to the next chapter. If you're not happy, we're going to keep revising until you're happy. We offer unlimited revisions on each steps to make sure that you are super happy with your manuscript and eventually all the services.
Okay, so let me just try and let me do like a mini case study with you. Okay, so you would interview. I want to write a book about the Deferred Sales Trust, and the Deferred Sales Trust is a capital gains tax solution that we can use to liquidate highly appreciated assets, defer the tax, and reinvest the proceeds net of attorney fees instead net of taxes. It's a very powerful strategy. It provides flexibility. It provides liquidity. It provides optimal timing. It gives you control over which assets you go in and out of and when. It gives you control over, future investments. It gives you the ability to invest in a startup or a business. What's really unique is that if you know, like a 1031 exchange, for example, a 1031 exchange is good if you have real estate essentially and you're going into real estate. What sucks about a 1031 exchange is that when you have when you identify, you have 45 days to identify and you have 180 days to close, and that puts you in a really constrained time frame. And you have to go and you have to make decisions, and you're forced into this kind of like shotgun wedding scenario where you have 45 days to get engaged, 180 days to close on a property. And a lot of times you can buy bad deals just because you need to find something to buy. The other thing is you have to go back into real estate. So you become illiquid and you have to replace the debt. And the other thing is that your depreciation schedule travels with you. Well, with the Deferred Sales Trust, what's really nice is you can liquidate an asset, and it can be any asset. It doesn't have to be real estate. It can be a stock or a business or a primary home or commercial real estate or Bitcoin or a racehorse or art, anything that's highly appreciated. It doesn't matter. And you can sell the asset and you can go into a variety of different things. So you can diversify. You can sell real estate and go into stocks and some crypto and real estate 2 years later if you want. Or you can go into real estate if you find a deal right away. Or you can go from a highly appreciated business to all liquid stocks until you find another business you want to go into a couple years later, a couple days later. It doesn't matter. So we had a client who bought Bitcoin for 50 grand. She ended up making, I don't know, 50 million when it was like at 60,000 a coin. She ended up selling about 5 million of it. She deferred about 1.85 million in tax. She put a good portion of it into stocks and bonds, earning a pretty, good return. 6%, 7% is what she's kind of getting net. And then she put the extra 1.85 million that she would have paid in tax with her friend in a startup to go do some
Yeah.
nonprofit work.
Hmm.
Cool. So, all right, Vikrant, there's my premise. How do you write a book for me with that?
Yeah, the process is pretty much standardized for kind of every client. The first step is we have to find you a really perfect ghostwriter. We call them angel writer who can understand you and understand your topic. And for that, we'll ask you to fill out a form. And this form is going to be having 4 type of questions: your book idea, why you want to write a book, who is the target readers, and how the book is going to be different from all the other books on the same topic. And once we understand it, then we're going to be using that information and we'll find you the best writer. We'll send you 5 to 10 different ghostwriting ghostwriter options, their profile, their writing styles. You can review them. You can decide who is the best fit for you. You can shortlist 3 or 4 of them. You can interview them, and then you decide that, okay, this is the person I want to work with. And then the process starts, right? So it just doesn't start like, okay, let's get the book done. The first step is we have to find you the right person who can write the book for you. Once we
Okay.
find out that person, then the first step is creating your book outline, right? So you shared all the benefits and you also have so many case studies as well, right? You have this case study of like how this client was able to use $50,000, and then of course she made $50 million, and then how was able to save her taxes. So you can use these kind of case studies inside the book, but first of all, we have to arrange all of these ideas, all the stories, all the case studies in the form of a book outline, right? We'll work on this later, but first of all, the book outline has to be in place. It's like a business plan before starting a business, right? So you are about to write a book, but you have to have a book outline. And then once the book outline is kind of approved and kind of finalized, and of course, this can be changed later, but the rough book outline is ready, then we can move to the chapter by chapter. Like chapter 1, the writer is going to take your interview, ask more question about every specific details, and then write the chapter 1. They're going to send it to you. Once it is written, you provide the feedback. If you're happy, then move forward to the next step. If you're not happy, then the writer is going to be working on that specific things that you are not happy on, and then we're going to fix that chapter 1, and then we move to the next step. So chapter by chapter, we're going to complete the book. And yeah, this is exactly how we write the book. And there's so many other steps as well, like editing, proofreading, cover designing, publishing,
Sure.
marketing. But this is how our process works like. But yeah, I really like your book idea. I really love the concept of, and also you shared some really great case studies as well. And you can use those case studies that we recommend to our clients to use those case studies, because people learn any concept way faster when you share it with the help of real life examples and case studies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that is what we do, by the way. That is our
Okay.
our strategy, and that's kind of why the podcast exists, is to share that strategy with people and so on and so forth. And we actually are, or Brett is actually coming out with a book here. It's called Building a Tax Deferred or Capital Gains. I think they're still
Mhm.
trying to work out the title, but Building a Tax Deferred Exit Strategy, or a Capital Gains Tax Deferred Exit Strategy, or something like that. But it's supposed to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks. So we got Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, who wrote a chapter. Jake Miller, who's, if you have listened to us at
Yeah.
all, you know who he is. He's written a chapter. Brett Swarts has written a couple chapters. So it's going to be awesome. And you guys can find out more about that by going to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com and looking for that, pre-ordering your copy and all that kind of stuff. So there's my plug. So, okay. Vikrant, so we've kind of moved through this process, right? You basically said that you create the people, or you get the people, right? We interview, we find the right person. Once we've matched the person, you essentially write your table of contents. Once you've written your table of contents, your outline or whatever, right? We start going in chapter by chapter. The interviews kind of go, and I'm assuming you'll record that and you'll go back and
Yeah.
re-listen to it, and you'll use a lot of our own language and words and all that kind of stuff in order to write it.
Yeah.
And then you're basically have your angel writers who are just like Grammarly on steroids, who go out there and make your stuff succinct and cut
Mhm.
down and all that kind of stuff. And then okay, so we've got everything squared away, right? We like all the chapters. We like all the content, right? You guys like the book. I'm assuming you guys have to like be like, hey, this will
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
like have a chance, or if
of
not,
course.
like, hey man, this book sucks. Like we need to write a new one. Is that
And
is
yeah,
that
like
fair?
it also depends on the client's purpose of exactly why they want to
Sure.
write a book. And that's why we whenever in our first call itself, like we ask them exactly why they want to write a book. And for someone, writing a book is completely different goal. Like someone wants to write a book to get more clients, someone wants to use it to generate leads, someone wants to get it for speaking gigs. Some people just want to help people, right? Other people. So if your goal is to generate more clients using the book, and we see that this book is definitely not going to help you get more clients, we're going to provide you the feedback, right? That, hey, this is not how it would work. But if your goal is simply to get more clients, then we will ask or we'll work together to create a content so that this can generate more clients. For example, we can use some book funnel inside your book. We can offer some kind of a giveaway inside the book, that so that people can actually maybe schedule a consultation with you, or watch your free webinar, or download a free worksheet or something, so that they can provide the email address, and eventually you can sell your program over there. But their why has to be clear, and that's why every book is different. We can't say that this book sucks just because the way it is. Like it might be for example, some autobiographies or some memoirs, like people write, and if the story, like we can't write something fiction if the
Yeah.
story is not very very interesting. We have to stick with exactly the factual facts of exactly what the author went through. So yeah, it depends on book to book and author to author and their whys and their goals and purposes of the writing book.
What are you seeing as far as like ROI or return on investment with the people who are like, I want to write a book for business purpose, right? For the purposes of generating clients, generating leads, generating revenue. What
Mm.
are you seeing with that? Is it worth it?
It is so whether you are, for example, it is kind of like having a really popular YouTube channel or having a really great podcast platform. Once you write, once you become a published author, people see you differently. Like they see you as an expert or authority in the niche. That's why most of the famous gurus and professionals, like who want to establish their authority or build their brand, the first thing they want to do is they want to write a book. They
Mm.
want to first of all have their message in a concrete 200 pages book, so that people can uh, know that all of these ideas belongs to this guy, right? And this is kind of very very important, because if in especially in the information age, and if you are selling anything which is for example coaching, consultation, anything like in you, if you're an infopreneur, right, if you're selling your ideas, your information, then book is one of the most logical step to uh, to get more clients. Because for example, even if you're in real estate industry, and I want to buy a home, and maybe I want to buy a bigger complex or project, like some very big projects, right? And I get four realtors, right, four real estate agents, and but one is a best-selling author on topic of maybe how to save taxes on while buying properties. and they in the first meeting, like all of these other three people, they offer business cards, but the fourth one, he offers his book, right? He just gives away the book. Most likely the person wants to work with this published author because this they seem that, hey, like this person has to know about the topic and he must be an expert, that's why he wrote a book about it.
Sure.
So so these are the different ways and different reason why people should write a book. And that's why a few years ago, like Brian Tracy said this, that if you want to establish your authority in your industry, then you have to become an author, because in authority word itself there's an author.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why like writing a book is one of the most logical step if you're an infopreneur.
Okay. So we've established that there's a lot of benefits to writing a book, right? There's a lot of ways um to do well with it, but there's also probably a lot of ways to screw it up.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I want to just kind of spend the last like 2 to 3 minutes going through what are the top things not to do when you're writing a book.
And to answer this question, I'm going to go back to those four pillars. The first was the product itself. You have to write a really good book. You don't have any other option. You have to write a good book. In case, like, if you just maybe like with the help of your marketing, you can become a best-selling author. But eventually, if your book is not good, you will start getting really, really bad reviews, and eventually the book is going to die on Amazon or all the other publishing platforms. So this is the extremely important step. You have to understand the problem, the pain points, and then write the book accordingly. The second is the packaging. Again, it is extremely important to package it in such a way that it looks premium and people want to buy the book. And there's so many small things which actually plays, which are very, very important. For example, when you're publishing on Amazon, you would see that people usually go and search for like tax book, right? Like they don't try to find a book in a certain category, they simply use the search bar, right? So, and whenever you do the search, like whenever you search anything over there, then you see those thumbnail image, like very short little book cover, like very thumbnail sized. And so you have to keep this thing in your mind. Like, first of all, Amazon has this white background, and if your book is also very light in color or white in color, then it won't pop out, and the click-through rate is going to be very, very low, and chances of people reading the description and eventually buying the book is going to be low. So you have to have a very high contrast book cover, red, black, blue, or something, if you're a first time author, right? Or if you're not well known. The second is like your title and subtitle should be very visible, even if in the thumbnail image, right? Like you can simply minimize, if your designer has already designed the cover, then simply minimize it and see whether how it is looking in the thumbnail view. And then third comes the publishing and distribution. The fourth is the promotion is important, but again, product and packaging is, I personally see that it is way more important if you want to go for a long-term success for the book.
So the first thing is don't write a bad book.
Right.
Second thing is make sure it looks good.
Yep.
Those are the biggest two mistakes people make when they're writing a book and trying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Vikrant, you've been awesome. Ton of value. Where can people find you?
Simply visit authorsonmission.com. So before this, I don't know, like as of now, we have both of these websites live, bestsellingbook.com and authorsonmission.com. But we are in the transition, we are in the rebranding phase. We are going to be transitioning from bestsellingbook.com to authorsonmission.com. Simply go to authorsonmission.com and check out, like you will see hundreds and hundreds of testimonials and case studies of people like who have worked with us. In case if you need any help and you want any professional person to take care of everything, all the steps, just simply schedule a call with us and we would love to work with you.
Awesome. Okay. So authorsonmission.com if you guys want to connect with Vikrant and get a book written, one that doesn't suck. That's gonna be good, because they'll tell you, right? As hard as it may be for them, they'll let you know. Assuming it's your goal to write a good book, which it sounds like it should be. So AuthorsOnMission.com. If you guys are interested at all in learning more about the Deferred Sales Trust, my little case study plug that we did here a little bit earlier in the podcast, that is true. That was a true story. There's hundreds of those types of stories. If you have a highly appreciated asset and you are looking to potentially sell, it could be a business, it could be stock, it could be real estate, it could be a primary home, it could be, like I said, Bitcoin, Ethereum, probably not right now, but anything that's highly appreciated and you have a significant capital gains, give us a call. Go to our website, capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. You can learn more about the Deferred Sales Trust, why we love it, why we think it's the best strategy that's out there. But if it's not the perfect strategy for you, then we'll tell you. And it's called Capital Gains Tax Solutions, plural. So there are multiple things that we can do. So go over there and make sure to check that out. You can also come to our mastermind every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a fantastic place to come, learn tax flow as well as cash flow, and learn more about the strategy, bring your CPAs and all that good stuff. All right, Vikrant, before we go, I want to get you into the lightning round. And this one's going to be tough. What's your favorite book?
What's my favorite? I would always go with the Rich Dad Poor Dad because it completely changed the trajectory of my life. Otherwise, I would have been working in maybe a cubicle. I would be an engineer, and I know that I wouldn't be liking that life. But yeah, I would go with that book.
Okay, what's your favorite leadership quote?
One life, make it count.
Awesome. All right. And last but not least, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
So in life, there's not just the money thing, and of course, people in our age, like usually they go after money, but there are so many things that are way more important than money, like your family, your relationship, your if you have your kids, then they are the most precious thing, and you have to somehow create a balance, because maybe you will simply go after the money, but once your kids grow or once your relationship is broken, then it would be very difficult to again get back to that. So I have personally lost some people because of that, but now I understood that life is all about balance, and your health, like it is also one of the most important asset. If you are healthy, it is everything. If you're not healthy, it's nothing. Like anything, you won't be able to enjoy anything.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the value that you've got. If you guys are interested at all in the Deferred Sales Trust, again, one more time, Deferred Sales Trust Masterclass, Capital Gains Tax Solutions. You can sign up for it there. It's every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Go check out Authors on Mission. If you have an idea for a book, let's go get some literature written over there. Become the authority if you have an idea. And Vikrant's got a fantastic solution for that. So thanks again, man, for coming on. AuthorsOnMission.com and CapitalGainsTaxSolutions.com, where, as always, we believe most high net worth individuals and their professional teams struggle to find great capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a plan is the enemy. So use things like the Deferred Sales Trust, use people like Vikrant and Authors on Mission to create strategies and plans to preserve your wealth. Thanks everybody for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. It helps us out. Go look for the book. It's coming out soon. You can find it on Capital Gains Tax Solutions. Authors on Mission. One more time. Vikrant, Shaurya, how you doing? Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon.